Hey guys, I'm here in the shop today and I have one of the shocks off my Traxxas Maxx. It's time for me to redo the oil, so I figured I'd show you guys how to redo your shock oil while we're here. I like to personally take the spring off myself to make it a little easier. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is remove my spring from the shock. So now we have our shock here, and you're gonna wanna take off your cap so we can drain all the old oil out. You're gonna want something that you can drain all your oil into so you don't make a mess. These are Traxxas shocks off of Maxx. So this is our rubber bladder. It's pretty common in most shocks. Just go ahead and put that back in there and drain out all your old oil. You're just gonna sit here and let it drip. You can slowly compress your shock to help get some of the oil out there. You don't have to get every last drop out, but the more oil you do get, the closer your shocks will be to the new weight of your oil. So now I've got my old oil drained out. I'm gonna go ahead and open the shock back up again. As you can see in there, most of the oil is out if it'll focus. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is take our new oil. I'm using 35 weight oil here today. And we're gonna fill our shock up about a third of the way to start. Well, this is a brand new bottle of oil. I'm gonna have to take the cap out of it. And now we're gonna fill it up about a third of the way. So as you can see, it's gonna be hard here. I've got it filled up about a third of the way, but they're known to store air bubbles down in there. So what you're gonna wanna do is slowly work it up and down just a little bit, compress it, keeping it upright. And what this does here is we're working the air bubbles out and bringing them up to the surface. It's hard to see, but as I'm doing this, there are a few tiny little air bubbles coming up. So now we've got all the air out of it, we're gonna go ahead and fill our shock up the rest of the way here. Now with these shocks, when you fill them up, you're gonna fill it, I'm about 1 millimeter down on the outside edge here. And what that does is that leaves space here for our air bladder. So what I'm gonna go do is screw my cap on and just set it on. I'm gonna get it to start, but I'm not gonna tighten it up yet. So now it's started. I'm gonna go ahead here and I compress the shock about halfway. And what that does is it raises the oil level up a little bit. And at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and continue to tighten down that top cap. So as I tighten this cap, I'm having a little bit of oil seep out. And you can hear some air bubbles, and that's what you want. We actually overfill it a little bit to compress it out and make sure we don't end up with air in it. Gonna go ahead and wipe it here. And now we have our nice shock ready to put back together and onto our truck. And that's how you change your shock oil.